Okay, NXT. You see the title. I'm not changing it because there's no point in changing. This show is wrecked, man. Look, I don't know how long this video is going to be. I don't know how detailed I'm going to be. But when you see how this show is booked, it just clearly shows that HBK is not booking the way he wants. And I want to make this clear to you, and I'll say this at the end of this review as well. HBK has a style of booking. It's not groundbreaking booking. He does 101 booking. Okay booking. It's not in Triple H's style. It's not in Vince McMahon's style. He takes a little bit of both and his own idea and he books. That's how he is. This is not HBK. This is not Shawn Michaels. If anyone thinks that this is Shawn Michaels, I got a bridge to sell you that's in New York called the Brooklyn Bridge. It's been around for over 200 some odd years, or at least 150 to 130 years. It's just barely worn in. It's like about 10 years old, but it used to be about like 130 years old. But you don't know the difference because you just give me $500 million. Just give me my money. Give me my fucking money, because that's how dumb this is. And if you buy it, you don't know what you're understanding. Let's open with Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, which I want to make this clear. This is not about any of the matches they do. This is not about how they're doing their characters. This is not about any of it. Understand, this is NXT. Dominic should be on NXT, showing the title, and only defending it on the show. Only. Why is he defending it on Raw? Why is he defending it on SmackDown? Why? It makes no sense. If you're going to defend it outside of NXT, it should be in a premium live event, not a regular show that by law that has been written from the beginning of the year, where Triple H said there's going to be a massive shakeup that will change WWE forever, which it hasn't. A NXT title should not be defended on Raw or SmackDown. It shouldn't. And it has now twice. They made it very clear. Main evented Raw, Dominic Mysterio. Main evented SmackDown, Dominic Mysterio. And now main evented NXT. This shows you that this is not proper booking. Now, let me give it to you like this. Do I believe Wesley is going to get a fair shake? No. Do I believe that him dealing with Mustafa Ali is going to end out well? No. Do I believe they're going to have a feud after the Great American Bash? Yeah, they probably will. And it will not involve the North American Championship. I just don't believe it's going to be. It's just a waste of time. I feel sorry for Wesley. He deserves better. Mustafa Ali, I don't totally feel sorry for him because he decided to stay. Sorry. I'm not joking around. He decided to stay. Of course, he had no choice but to stay. But at this point, I just don't feel sorry for him. He's still here. If he hasn't tried to break his contract, at this point when Triple H was in control, he should have done it like a, guess who? A Eric Young, who realized when Vince was back, he left. So Mustafa Ali had his chance to leave before total control was gained, unless they still wouldn't let him get out of his contract. If he hasn't, I don't feel sorry for him because he didn't try to fight for it. If he hasn't, and counting how much time he still has left on this contract, if it has not been extended, I still don't feel sorry for him. I should, but I don't. Let's move on to Gable Stevenson. I'm doing this now. There's no point. I knew he wasn't leaving. Yes, he can go back to college and try and get a third NCAA. He can go to the Olympics in another year. He can train right now, go to the Olympics next year, and try to get another championship. Try to get another gold medal championship. You don't know what I mean. Just a gold medal. It's just, there's no way he wasn't going to stay. And then you have Baron Corbin, who hasn't even established his character yet. The most they did last week was show him facing himself. And instead of trying to make it more than just that, and give him at least a chance on the show, chance to talk, or chance to have a match, and then a talk to show I'm no longer who I once was, I'm someone different. No. You bring him out, explain that and this is for Gable, go back to NCAA. Go to the Olympics. Not here because you're in the deep end where the sharks are and I'm hungry and I can smell blood. Really? It doesn't feel legitimate. This doesn't feel like Baron Corbin has really had a chance to develop himself. He hasn't. The only thing they did was show him reaching a point, but not reaching the threshold to make it to the transition. They just showed him reaching a point, and they just showing him already transitioned where we didn't see it. We didn't experience him being different, which I'm not saying he would have been, but at least we would have seen if he could have done it or not. And then getting beat up a little bit by Gable Stevenson, I don't buy it. I'm just not feeling it. There's nothing there. Going into the Great American Bash, it's only a few days away. If this was a couple of weeks ago, and Baron Corbin had already developed himself, and then Gable Stevenson said something then, yeah, maybe I would feel something. Here I don't feel a damn thing. Moving on. We got the 6-man tag. Schism versus Hayes, Mello, and Dragunov. I had a feeling there was going to be something screwy, and I was right. This was not about the match quality. I want to make it very clear the match quality was fine. It was an okay match. Schism works very well, usually with a lot of people. I'm not saying that Hayes looked bad. He did not. But I am going to say this. This before the match. You see Trick coming out. He looks fine. He looks alright. He looks like Trick Williams. You see Dragunov coming out. He looks all dominant, going like this. But when you see Mello coming out, he doesn't feel legitimate anymore. Oh my gosh. Guys. Carmelo Hayes has been knocked down 5 pegs. If you believe that he's perfectly fine, more power to you. But as a reviewer who's seen from what he's gone through, he jobbed to... Stay calm. He jobbed on the main roster on Raw for no reason except to promote Judgment Day. Then he jobs again to Judgment Day on his roster. And it does not help him going into the Great American Bash. It doesn't help him. It helped Dominic more than it helped him. And that wasn't even Dominic having a wrestling match. He did have a wrestling match. But you know what I mean. It's just, this was more helping Judgment Day than anything else. This was total destruction of a Carmelo Hayes. He doesn't feel legitimate. You know what he feels like? He doesn't feel like the main champion. He feels like a mid-card champion now. That's what he feels like. He feels like a mid-card champion. He feels like he's holding the title Wes Lee used to hold. That Dominic used to hold. Dominic is more important than Carmelo Hayes, your champ. And Dominic's not even on the main roster of NXT. Let's move on. You know who won. Then we got Von Wagner versus Banal. Big Bobby Hobby. What was the point of this match? Except to let Von Wagner destroy somebody again. Because weeks ago he destroyed him. He also destroyed another guy. And now the fans are behind him. So someone decided, let's do it again. He completely annihilates Big Bobby Hobby. And then, as he's outside the ring and he's telling everyone, just, come on, cheer. They're all calling for the table. He jumps out and then throws him right through a table. That's it. That's all we got from Von Wagner. At least until we get the destruction from... Why? Why did Braun Breaker... Did I miss something? Someone leave a comment below. What am I missing? What am I missing? Why did Braun Breaker annihilate him? Why? I'm confused. What was the point of Braun Breaker annihilating him? What? Just to do it? So what has happened to Braun Breaker? He has now gone from the main event all the way here And he's now here with Von Wagner, who just got a little bit of cheering. He's just beginning to get cheering. And then you brought Braun Breaker, who needs to stay strong, all the way down to Von Wagner, who has a sympathetic story, yes, because of his head being fused and how hard it was for him. I understand that. I'm not against him. I understand it's hard when you're born differently. I was born pretty much premature, and I was always undersized as a kid because of that. But you just decided to take someone who was this great as a heel, brought him down to the level of a Von Wagner. For what? Will this help Von Wagner? You could say yeah, because it would give him some of a rub, but would this really help a Braun Breaker in the end? What are they doing with Braun? Just letting him randomly mess with a Von Wagner? I'm just saying, moving on. Okay. Next. Kendo stick match. The light's too bright. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you right now. I hated that match. That was not a great match. Now, mind you, I'm not taking anything away from a Cora Jade and a Dana Brooke. They tried. But you could tell that this was well outside what they both normally would do together. They have not done much interaction. They don't really have a great amount of chemistry, I could tell. And then they're trying to do a kendo stick match, which basically is an anything go match. Isn't it supposed to be that it basically is a no DQ match? And you could tell it didn't feel like they really gelled. They just didn't. And when you see the opening, when you see Jordan and Dana Brooke coming out in a Catwoman mask, I'm going like, oh no, she better not win. Why would you let her come out with a Catwoman mask on, wearing black? I knew. If she won, I fucking riot. And I'm rioting right now. This is not about 100% the match quality. They tried to work together. But this freaking booking is stupid. Why would you do a kendo stick match? How many days? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 days before Great American Bash. Wouldn't it have been better to do it on Great American Bash? If they wanted to make this feud mean something, put it on the fucking Bash with the kendo stick match. Why do it here? Why do it here? This was a fucking waste of time and a damn joke. It didn't help Cora Jade. It didn't really help Dana Brooke except give her a win. And understand, I'm not hating on Dana Brooke. I'm not against Dana. She has tried hard with so many different gimmicks they've thrown at her over the years. When she was working with primetime players, when she was working with Apollo Crews and Titus O'Neil, she tried whatever they threw at her. She did the 24/7 championship craziness. She did everything they asked her to do, the best that she could do. They throw her NXT, and there's no development for her. They just threw it on there. You see I'm getting angry. This is bullshit. They didn't give her a chance to build herself up before she even worked with Cora Jade or even worked with Jordan either. They wouldn't establish her there. They just throwing her into the match. Throw into a match that she's not really that great at because she's never done a kendo stick match as far as I know. Then you put her with Cora Jade, who herself is still very new in the business and still needed a helping hand from a veteran like a Dana Brooke, who herself is not one of the best wrestlers. She's average. She's been in high profile things, but she's average. She's never been brought into a serious position where she had to work her ass off. She's never done it. Yeah, she worked the 24/7 angle, which she had to work hard for, but it wasn't serious. This is supposed to be a serious match, and there was no build to it, and this was stupid bullshit. It's garbage. It was a wreck. Moving on. Let's go to the match that I was really worried about, because after I saw Dana Brooke winning, I'm going like, would they actually job out the family of Stacks and Tony D'Angelo? Would they do that? Because you got Nima and I think his name is I can't remember his name. Nema and Price. They're brand new. They're coming in, and they had maybe 1 or 2 matches so far. But you now put them in a situation where they should be built up. This was stupid booking. I think he was told to do this. I'm telling you right now, there was no point in Neiman and Price having a match with Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. It should never happen. They should be kept separate because Neiman and Price need to be built up because they need new guys there. The Creeds are not there supposedly because look what happened in the beginning of the show when they had that 6-man tag. 2 people came in wearing the mask of the Schism. I didn't say it here, but I think it needed to be said here. And we didn't see them. They look like Julius and Brutus. What was the point? They shouldn't be there, but that looks like it's them. It looks like it's them. They're about the right size. They're about the right shape. But there was no point in doing this. Neiman and Price should have never had to go up against the family. And they did. And you now have Scripps as their manager. Without any build-up, without them going into the back, or anything, not weeks of building that, hey, this guy might actually help us, or he approaches them and say, hey, I think you need some help. They'd only been on TV maybe once or twice, I can't remember. And now they got an automatic manager that made no sense. And then while he's talking on the mic, guess what happened? Axiom attacks him because Axiom feels betrayed, which is understandable. But then, what the hell was this? This was stupid booking with stupid build. They just threw people together that shouldn't have been thrown together without a build-up, particularly about to go to the Great American Bash. This is stupid. And they call the Great American Bash a premium live event. Who wants to see this shit when it's so badly booked? And I know people are going to say, dude, what about the people cheering? They were cheering. Have you ever heard of Canned Heat and Canned Pops? I'm not saying they weren't cheering, but it was a lot louder than it should have been. I'm just saying. And Gallus got their last words in after that match because of the match that's going to happen at the Great American Bash. Final match. What do we get here? Rhea Ripley versus Valkyria. The main reason this is happening is because Valkyria is having a problem with JC James, and Rhea Ripley is saying, you better handle your business. Show me what you got. Really? That weak of a reason to have a match with one of the 2 women that are prominently shown on their main shows, which she shouldn't even be there. I knew things were bad when you started seeing Mommy's clothes pop off. The straps she had wrapped around her legs, they just started popping off. And they don't normally do that. That's got to tell you something is wrong here. If you haven't seen that sometimes things happen for a reason, if you didn't notice that Mommy's straps started popping off, that means something's wrong. Even her wardrobe is realizing this ain't right. And it started popping off. Mind you, she's still got a nice ass in those pants. But the point is not the match itself. It's not the quality. It's about the situation she's in. She's a Raw champion currently jumping from Raw to SmackDown to NXT. Having a match on NXT. I don't remember. I believe she had attacked Liv Morgan. And pretty much this was stupid. Flat out stupid. It was not that the match was bad. It was okay. It wasn't great. They don't really have a lot of great chemistry there, but it wasn't bad. In the end, I wasn't surprised. Rhea was not going to job here. But I want to say this. She's telling her, handle your business with JC James. Why would you even care about her? I mean, I'm just saying. I know someone's gonna say, dude, they had it in the Performance Center this Friday that just passed. She's seen them. Don't you understand they're not supposed to be there, period? Don't you understand that Rhea Ripley is not a free agent? That she is the current champion of Raw and she's not supposed to leave the damn show? Look at Asuka. Do you see Asuka on NXT? No. She was on SmackDown, which was at the Performance Center, which had the people there. That was understandable. Which they shouldn't be interacting, but they were. But why was it Rhea, not Asuka? Because Asuka is not the most dominant person there. It's Rhea because of Judgment Day. So that's what we get. And the final thing is the call out of Trick Williams to Dragunov. He called them out. They had their fight. But let's make this clear. This is about Mello. I knew Mello was going to come out, but I didn't know what would happen. I thought maybe he may try to convince Dragunov not to do anything. But in fact, what do we get? Mello willing to jump in front of Dragunov to stop him and gets nailed in the face. And Dragunov says, Trick is your friend. You got loyalty. I respect that. It is rare in this business, and I respect you for that. But when the Great American Bash comes, I will be holding this champion. The only thing you'll have left is your loyalty to your friend, because I will be the next champion. At this point, if they make... I have to say this now, because I'm doing a... This might be a spoiler, or I could be 100% wrong. And if I'm wrong, I wish I wasn't. Because let's make this clear. Dragunov should win now. Because Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes is done. They're done. Because of how bad... If you don't see that NXT is not booking normally, that it seems that a lot of stuff has been interjected in it. Look at what's going on with Baron Corbin. He has not been booked correctly. He was brought in, and instead of him just being built slowly, they just rushed it and then threw him at the Olympic champion. Look at what's going on. You don't even feel Tiffany Stratton. Yes, she had a video package along with a Thea Hall, but it doesn't feel like anything because mommy's there. Why would you fucking care about Tiffany Stratton? I don't care. Tiffany means nothing. She didn't approach Rhea. Wouldn't have been interesting if Rhea approached Tiffany or Tiffany approached Rhea. Rhea feels more important than the current NXT champion and her challenger. Look at what was going on with this damn show. It is wrecked. The booking is off. And if you don't understand, I'll explain it again. If Vince McMahon is in full charge of creative, which we already know he is telling Triple H over the internet or over a phone, he can do either Discord or probably Vince may do Skype or Zoom. He will talk to him on the computer saying, this is what I want. Do you actually believe Vince won't do this to HBK? Do you actually believe he's not telling HBK how he wants things to be run? Particularly, we already heard that there's rumors now. If you haven't heard this, listen to me. Rumors are already coming out that many people like Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, as well as JD has already reported on it. Go check JD's channel. It is there. They want to try and make NXT more hardy, more better, so they can destroy Dynamite. Hear me again. Vince wants to reactivate the Wednesday Night Wars, but he wants to do it probably on Tuesday, unless they're going to renegotiate NXT on Wednesday. He wants to make sure this time around, since he's no longer running the company, but he can no longer owning the company, but he's running it on behalf of the current owner of Infinity. He wants NXT to destroy Dynamite this time. He don't give a damn what he has to do. He doesn't care. So everything HBK has done for the developmental that Vince ordered in 2020, because he destroyed the way Triple H created it. Not saying Triple H did a great job. He did something that many people liked. But the point is, Vince killed NXT when Triple H had to go away because of his heart problem. He turned it into 2.0. When he came back, Triple H and the shareholders and his daughter had told Vince, because of the accusations, which are still ongoing. Those accusations of money laundering is still ongoing. Still ongoing. He's still getting governmental probed from the federal government. It's not over yet. He left. Then came back and sold the company. And then decided to start reexerting himself as the current creative head on behalf of Infinity, I believe that's the name of it, who also runs UFC. Triple H does exactly what Vince says. Unless Vince says, okay, do it the way you want. HBK is doing exactly what Vince says. Unless he says, okay, HBK, do it the way you want for now. The same for Triple H. This is what we got. It's shit. And this is making me think, what am I going to do? If this gets really bad and turns me off, I may stop doing NXT. But it hasn't gotten there yet. But this is not looking good. I'm done. Peace.